story behind recording "No Can Left Behind"? What's the
Oh,
story
it's
there?
such a serious song.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no,
contrast.
I know that's what this album. The reason we recorded that is, I always say it. '90s country music is what I turned me on to it, and this song honestly sounds. I feel like it could have came out in about '93, and it would have been fine. And I love that. I love. Even though the production on songs like Broke Down might not sound like but it's not far off. And I think lyrically, to me, that's why I love country music. It's, lyrically it's relatable, and I think all the songs are like that. But No Can Left Behind is the fun kind of party song. I mean, I remember we had a couple of more songs that, may have been about a breakup or this that were phenomenal, but it just, you gotta fill up the album with stuff. And the way I love to play in my live show and have fun. I mean, songs like that are what I think any entertainer just would agree, that the songs allow you to do that. You can't be up there jumping around having fun if you're not singing about it. I don't think so. That to me, No Can Left Behind was just a title I had, just obviously kind of off of No Man Left. I was like, man, we're going out. I mean, I've already. Who knows if it'll ever be a single, but I've already thought about the video, doing the whole James Bond, like we're going in, me and the team, to save all the beer. But I don't know, it's just like a lot of people, you just see all these things when you're writing, and I think that kind of helps me. But No Can Left Behind, a couple of people have brought that song up, and it makes me feel good because I didn't know. People were like, man, that sounds like something totally different. But that's why I think I love it, and I think the crowd, I mean, it's going to be a fun live song. So, me, Brandon Kenny, and Michael Carter, we've written a lot together, and that was the one that we wrote on this album.
Okay, cool. Can you talk about your teaming up with Shazam and this nationwide scavenger hunt and what it's going to entail? Oh
my gosh, well, for one, I mean, I remember when I downloaded the Shazam app years ago, and then I think I met Rich, the main man over there at one of the BMI Awards. And then this past, for this album, this single, they were stepped up huge, and we got to debut kind of an acoustic video setting they did with Shazam. But now, all this is, with the new album, and it's, I mean, all the way back when you could just, hear a song and it would recognize it. Now you can do pictures. I mean, they've got something totally new with it, the beacon thing, I think, where technology, where, I mean, they know where you are, and they're doing a scavenger hunt where if they unlock certain pieces, like, they get I think it's like 5 total contestants, and then they're going to have a race to, just Shazamming pictures, my album cover, stuff like that. And it's crazy, all the things, like when I visited with Shazam, all the, they can hook it up to where you Shazam my album cover and it goes to the album to buy it, or it goes to the merch to get a hat or whatever. It's this crazy technology artists like me that are getting to take advantage of. And, I appreciate Shazam. I've always, been a fan, but, for them to, I think I'm the first artist that they've done all 3 of the technologies with. So that's an honor. It's from such a huge company, and not just country music. It's a lot bigger than that to them. So for them to be featuring a country artist, I think that's good for all of us. But that it's going to be fun. It's in New York, and anything we can do to get people involved with this album, I really I've got a heck of a team, like I said, and I can't take credit for that partnership, but I'm glad that I'm in it now, and the people at Shazam are absolutely amazing. So cannot wait to get the album, The Scavenger Hunt, going.
Absolutely. Talk about a little bit, if you can, your performance on Good Morning America and Jimmy Kimmel. Any funny stories you can share with?
I don't, I haven't, my debut of my first album, it was February the 18th. I always remember that. That's the day the album come out, and I played David Letterman, my first live TV event. I remember, it was probably 3 minutes before I was supposed to go on, and I had my ears, and I reached back, and I did not have my pack. I left it up in the dressing room, and Carrie, my manager, had to, and it's isn't like, you'd think you could just get up there fast, but these elevators are slow and old, and it's freezing in there, because that's how Letterman liked it, they said. But so she's going up the elevator, and I'm just kind of freaking out, of course, trying to play it calm, and I'm waiting behind the curtain. She gets back with my pack, I plug it in, and I bet I didn't count to 10 before somebody just pushed me out there, and it's like out of a movie, I'm like, okay, you gotta do it. You don't have a choice when it's live TV like that, and you're recorded, but you don't give a one shot at it. I mean, that's I was pretty nervous, but now going into it, it's like anything else. I don't think you can really prepare for that moment to where, other than having been there before, I don't think I haven't done Kimmel, so I don't know, but I think it's going to be fun. And the Good Morning America stuff, I've done it, but I haven't had too many funny stories yet. Other than that, which is it wouldn't have been funny had she not gotten back down there in time because I needed those to sing. But yeah, I'm excited. Just like I said earlier, being on TV is such a huge deal, and out of all the people, for me to be able to be there and promote my new album, I can't wait. So you'll have to watch and see if I have my ears. It'll be good.
That's awesome. You've name-checked some people already, like Dirks and Florida Georgia Line. Can you talk about how some of the artists who have gone before you, that you're friends with now, have helped pave your way a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, the whole, 90s country I always talk about. I mean, it was Garth, McGraw. I mean, literally every art. I always think about it after interviews. I'm like, why didn't I say Tracy Lawrence, or why didn't I say, because there's so many of them. I literally loved all of them. But, then I got to a different stage, I think, in college after I started singing and was more interested in that. Obviously me and Luke go way back. I met Luke and he was the first one to kind of play me some stuff he had written up in Nashville, and it just blew my mind. I was in bars singing cover songs, and people were singing back, but I was learning to entertain, I think, and that's what I loved at the time, was just being up there having fun, watching other people have fun. But when I recognized that, I wanted to start writing my own stuff, and that was the time Eric Church's first album, Dierks Bentley's first album, all these guys, just their first, and I think, looking back now, it was just that time of my life to where I knew I wanted to write songs, and it meant so much to me listening to those songs, because I've already thought now, like, I bet this album, my third and fourth, if I get that far, that people are going to always love my first album, because I think that's what turns folks on to you, and I feel like you're always trying to top that to some people just because of the impact it had on that time of their life. And for me, it was Luke and Dirks and Eric Church. That's who made me want to write songs, and I think that ultimately changed everything. When I got to town, I had to write my own stuff, and it's had a lot of help getting to the people that I wanted to write with. It just took a little while. You gotta work your way there. But yeah, there's so many artists, and I everybody, anybody that's ever done what I'm doing now. I mean, and like I said, we got a lot of help from media, social media and stuff that a lot of artists didn't have. So I think we're lucky in that sense. But man, that's every artist, everybody that's done this has inspired me in some way, even if it's just saying that, hey, they can do it, I can do it, hopefully. So.
And speaking of songwriting, when you wrote You Should Be Here, did you have any anticipation that it was going to be a single, and what a big game changer it was going to be for you?
I didn't know what a game changer it was going to be, but I remember when I wrote it that, it was one of those things that I hadn't written about. I'd lost my dad, but I hadn't really sat down and wrote a song about it. And the first album, I'd lost him by then, but I wasn't ready to sing about it. It's like I touched on earlier. You kind of got to be, or I do. I always want to. I think it matters if people believe you or not. And I think there's songs you record, I think you have to believe them as well. And that was one that was very, very believable for me. And I think when I was writing it with Ashley Gorley, we were I had chills the whole time. You hope at this point you don't write a lot of bad songs, but there's some of them that are special, and like songs like this, You Should Be Here, you get that feeling to where you're already wanting to play it for somebody before you're even done with half of it, and that doesn't come along every day. And so I knew that it was special to me, but what I didn't know is, obviously I knew people had been through the same thing, but I hadn't heard from those people, and I hadn't read their stories, and it's the most heartbreaking. Yet, it's so humbling to know that I had my dad for 30 years, and some of these people, this song's helping them, and their dad's been gone for 30 years, and I'm working on about 3 years. So it's, stuff like that it's helped me just as much, and I'm just glad that everybody in the community is, this is the kind of song that, I think some of us in all ways, whether you've lost or just missed somebody, we can all relate that You Should Be Here.
Thanks.
Hey, Cole.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? The video for You Should Be Here is one of the most emotional videos you'll ever see. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like filming that and just going through that and still having to have a performance element involved in it simultaneously?
That was honestly the toughest video yet most rewarding thing I've ever done. This song means that much to me, but I didn't know what a life the video was going to give the song, and I think because you do want people, you know, there are people that are fortunate that haven't lost people, and you know, maybe you want them to take it as they're just missing somebody. But what this video did is, I think, let everybody know how I take it and what the song means to me. And as much as you want, you know, people to relate to it, that's what hits people the hardest, are people that have been through that, or even people I've heard that haven't, you know, lost anybody, but it makes them, you know, call them more or do that. And I'm like, man, that's all. If that's all it does, I mean, that's worth it, you know. And just the people, I think a lot of people know, but if not, you know, that was my first time back to his grave, to my dad's grave. I mean, a lot of it was me being busy, but just as much of it was, I think, me just putting it off. And I thought, to be honest, I thought that was kind of, I felt weird. I didn't know if anybody else had ever been through that, but me just saying that and putting that out there, the flood of responses of people that still haven't been back or still don't want to face that. Because once you see your last name and stone like that, it's, I mean, I think it was actually finally real, you know, and that, we didn't know if that was even going to be in the video. The cameras were way off. They gave me my time up there, but they used some of that clip because it was so real, and there's, you know, there's no second takes on that one. So, you know, but I think it made the video more powerful, and that was not playing my brothers at the end. I think it was just a perfect ending. They had seen enough of me sitting out there by myself. It's, you know, so they just came and put their arms around me, and that kind of summed it all up. So, yeah, very special video, and like I said, if seeing my tears or seeing me get upset helps anybody else, and you know, that's what I'm here for. But appreciate you asking about that video. It was very special.
And you know, the success of your first album, having 4 number ones, as you went through that progression and started thinking about this album, how did your confidence rise in being able to dictate more your own, you know, what your sound would be like, not having to worry as much about, well, will this be successful or not? How did that progression happen?
You know, nothing changed as far as wanting the best songs. I just, fortunately, I felt like I was in a position to get better songs. If, you know, I wrote the ones I could, and there were some phenomenal ones that I bet I wouldn't have had a chance at on the first album. So, yeah, you're right. You know, the confidence and knowing that, like she asked about if I knew it was going to be a single. I didn't know, but I knew that's what I wanted to lead off the second album. I knew that I had established I like to have fun, and I'm, you know, fun on stage, but that's not, you know, life's not all about that. And I think you have to have everybody's attention, or you don't have to, but I think a song like You Should Be Here wouldn't have got the attention it needed without me having 4 number 1 singles off that first album. I think I had to earn a voice, earn a right to say something like that. And I you know, thanks to everybody's help, I finally got to release a song that showed a different side. You know, like, you know, you read a lot of stuff and people say this and that about your music or what they think of it, and it's, you know, they normally don't know you personally and haven't heard the whole album. So that's kind of why we do on these albums. Every song that You Should Be Here, I've got some fun stuff, but I think even, you know, songs like Broke Down, Middle of a Memory, those songs are, to me, I'm so proud that I wrote those, because those are real things that I think we've all been through, and this album is, you know, whether it's fun or not so fun, I hope it's real to everybody, and that, you know, like I said, everybody just listens to the whole album. I'm excited for May 6th. I know that.
Can you talk about the campaign you have that people can gift the new album to soldiers overseas?
Absolutely. You know, the USO, getting to partner with them on anything is an honor, but you know, I think ever since Ain't Worth the Whiskey, just one line in a song, what impact that had on, you know, military families, and kind of the same as You Should Be Here almost. I never planned on, it was hard to believe, because, I mean, the men and women that serve our country, I can sit here and say there's no way that I could do what they do. It's unbelievable. And I think that a lot of us get to do what we love because they're away from their families and they're over there, you know, not knowing if they're going to make it back. And I'm up on stage smiling for 90 minutes. It's, you know, it doesn't seem fair sometimes, but for me and the fans to be able, that's what's amazing. It's not just me. I mean, the fans are the ones that are actually gifting, you know, the album. They're buying themselves a copy, and for a special price, they can gift one to an active service member. And I think it's going over well, just to see their support as well. Just like singing Ain't Worth the Whiskey, that line, it's the biggest moment of the night to see everybody sing it, because it's passionate. You can see how passionate our country is about that. And you know, just for me to just be involved, help out in any way I can, because they have the ultimate sacrifice, being away from their families, and they know what You Should Be Here is all about. So I hope they enjoy, you know, just from some of my friends I've had in the service, being overseas and his team, listening to my first album, getting pumped up, you know, and working out and stuff. That's just, I don't know that you can get a compliment anymore. I mean, that's crazy that they're actually, you know, listening. And I just want them to know that any way we can help, and that you know, not just their families, we all miss them back home. So just, that's an honor to be partnered with USO on this. It's a big deal for me too.
Well, congrats on the debut project going platinum. I just wanted to say that too.
Yeah, I swear that is the biggest. That may be the biggest surprise of anything. I never ever saw that coming. I think the last time I looked at any of the numbers, it would seem like it just gone gold, and I don't know. I was busy, which is a good thing. I'm not looking at it, but I literally I didn't even know it's close. So that is but I know what a big deal that does not happen on your first album, and wow, that's good company to be in right there. But that just, like I said, I think that's reward to my producer as well as trying to record the best songs we can. People, you know, they do listen, and I want them to have their money's worth on this second one. So we got 12 that I'm pumped about.
As you were writing and later recording the new album, was the idea of a sophomore slump, is that ever a worry for somebody like you?
Oh yeah, man. You know, as artists, I think we overthink a lot of things, but for me, what I was hoping is, you know, just how much I love to write songs. I tried to tell myself, hey, we're gonna be all right. But it is, like you say, you do the time. You don't have as much time, so, you know. And where do I go? Where do you go after 4 #1 platinum album on your first? That's tough, you know. But I don't think you can. You know, it's not even topping. It's just trying to get better, touch on things that I haven't touched on, and meanwhile, you know, make sure I've got the best songs I can get, because I'm getting to the point where there's no sense in not recording the best songs. If there's other writers sending me stuff, then dude, don't miss a great song because I didn't write it. That's not me. I've just kind of, as a new artist, you kind of have to write all your stuff because you're not getting all that. But you know, I'm not. I think after hearing this album, I'm not. You know, I guess there's always a chance of a slump, but I don't think it's going to be mine or my producers or anything's fault. It's just this album. I've never been more proud of anything. I know every artist says that about their next album, but I'm serious. Like, I believe, you know, this album's gonna, like I said, get me a little closer to where I want to be one day.